Hi, this is Paul Desmond. I'm here at the 2014 AHR Expo in the Schneider Electric booth, and I'm with John Bean, who is Director of Cooling R&D for Schneider. Welcome, John.
Oh, thank you very much, Paul. Good to speak with you today.
Well, I understand you're quite involved with ASHRAE. Can you tell us a little bit about what your role is with respect to that?
Yeah, so I'm a voting member on TC99, which is the technical committee that has oversight on data center cooling solutions. I'm also the chair of SPC 127, which is the method of test and rating of unitary air conditioners for data centers. And I'm a voting member on 90.4, which is the minimum energy efficiency for data centers. And we're working on a new standard for that subject.
Can you tell us about that? What we can expect out of some of these new standards?
Well, 127, I think the main focus of 127 will be to recognize some of the new cooling technologies that have came into the market since the old, just perimeter circle the wagon crack. So we have in-row coolers, we have backdoor heat exchangers, we have indirect air economizer solutions. So we'll try and take a more holistic approach with that and address some of these newer technologies with this revision to 127. And then, of course, 90.4 is looking at the energy efficiency of data centers more right now from a performance basis than a prescriptive basis. So there will be a big focus on maybe working towards some minimum efficiencies rather than stating, hey, you must do this and this, but preferably reach this minimum efficiency and you can achieve it however you want to. So in context, that's what we'll be looking at.
Okay, sounds good. Now, I understand in 2012 they released some revised thermal guidelines. What do you think are some of the key takeaways from that?
Yeah, so before the third edition of the thermal guidelines in 2012, there was a white paper that was produced by the IT subcommittee and TC99. And a lot of the information from that research that they did was incorporated in the third edition. A couple of key takeaways would be the server reliability as a function of server inlet temperatures. I think everybody understands that the reliability is basically at unity, a 1/1 failure rate at, say, 20 degrees Celsius or about 72 degrees Fahrenheit. But there's a lot of curiosity of what would happen to that server reliability as you move up in temperatures. So this new book gives the ability to look at different temperatures and the reliability factor. And then you can look at the hours that you'd operate over the course of a year at these different temperatures and figure out the net effect of server reliability. So I think that's an important consideration in this new book. And additionally, we talk a little bit about some of the new server classes, the A3, the A4 server class, and the higher allowed temperature limits that these can operate at, 40 and 45 degrees Celsius inlet temperatures respectively. And there's a little bit of a touch on the airflow rates as a function of server inlet temperature. With more and more people migrating towards containment solutions, there needs to be the ability to make sure that the air handlers or perimeter cracks that are part of the containment solution can follow the airflow of the IT equipment in real time. So if you move up the temperature and the servers need more airflow, then of course the cooling equipment needs to provision the extra airflow, or else there'd be a deficit of air and recirculation. So I think these are some of the key things that people should look for in that book.
Sounds good. And what are some of the questions that you get from customers like on a day-to-day basis?
That's quite a loaded question. So a lot of people are worried about where the standards might be going, trying to future-proof their data center and looking for the most optimal TCO propositions. We get a lot of questions about economizer solutions, their applicability in different climate zones, whether they work only in the colder climates, how they work in moderate climates to warmer climates. So that's a big interest to people right now, is economization.
We've written a number of times about that, and I know the Green Grid has done some work on that and adjusting their maps that show, what zones might be best for economizer mode. I mean, it seems to me that it's applicable almost anywhere these days. Is that right, do you think?
Well, that's absolutely correct, especially if you're willing to leverage some of these warmer temperatures. Even in locations like Florida, there's hours in the evening, hours during the winter, that if you're allowing your data center to run at slightly warmer temperatures, you could certainly do some level of economization there, especially if you're using something like indirect evaporative cooling where you're leveraging the wet bulb temperature versus the dry bulb. So that can extend your annual economization hours pretty substantially by technologies like that.
All right. Well, John, I appreciate you taking a couple minutes here, and I'll let you get back to the show.
All right. Thank you very much.